you will know already the total amount of our application fees going to Canada as a permanent resident.
Galing po dito
Family
sa
of
Saudi
four
Arabia.
coming here in Saudi Arabia. The amount in Canadian dollars total to a blessed morning to everyone. Thank you for watching our channel. For today's vlog, we're going to discuss to you the amount of fees that we have paid in applying to PR in the Express Entry of IRCC. So there are a lot of application, but we're going to be discussing to you our application, a family of four. We started off in the Express Entry, and then Federal Express Entry, and then we opted to go for the Provincial Nominee Program through SINP. So sit back, relax, and you're gonna be able to know the amount of the fees that we have covered in the length of our processing time. So we are going to start off with our ECA, Educational Credential Assessment. We opted to go for WES, which stands for World Education Services. Paid for me as a principal, I have paid the amount of 240 Canadian dollars, and for my wife, she paid also 240. It is necessary for you, the two of you, to take this ECA or the WES or the World Educational Services to know the equivalency of your education comparing to the Canadian education, so that if you do have the ECA together as a principal and as well as the dependent or the spouse, you will gain much more score in your CRS. So it's really important. So equivalent of that in Saudi Riyal, since we are living here in Saudi Riyal, we have paid 670 Saudi Riyals. If we're going to compare that one in Philippine peso, it will amount to 9,839. So that's for the ECA. We started having our ECA done first because ECA will take time. So as we are preparing for the IELTS, before we take the IELTS, we already started our ECA. So that's a tip for you if you're going to start your journey or your process going for application for Canada as a PR or student or anything. But for us as a PR, we opted to start first with our ECA rather than going for the IELTS. That's our own opinion only. So, but you can do otherwise. All right. Now for the IELTS, we have spent, me as a principal, I have spent 1,360, and for her as well as my wife, 1,360 in Saudi Riyals. That is equivalent to 469 each Canadian dollars. And if we're going to compare that one in the Philippine peso, that would amount to 20,128. So that's here in Saudi Arabia. I don't know for other countries, that's the amount that we have paid. Now we go for the PNP program. So for the PNP, we opted to go for the SINP. Since I'm the principal, I paid around 350 Canadian dollars, and that is equivalent to 970 in Saudi Riyals. And if you're applying from the Philippines, that would amount and that would cost you 14,356. Alright, that is for the SIMP. So once we have the invitation to apply, we also played for the EE application, which is amounting 2,286 Saudi Riyals. That is equivalent to 825 Canadian dollars, or equivalent to 33,825 Philippine peso for the principal. Now, since I have my wife and I have my two dependents, they need to also pay for that kind of amount, in which my wife paid also 825 Canadian dollars, equivalent to the aforementioned price in Riyals as well as in Philippine peso. For our dependent, for our kids, which we have two kids, that is equivalent to 450 each Canadian dollars, and that is equivalent to 1,286 in Saudi Riyals. Overall, That's a cumulative payment that we have paid in the application for the EE. We paid also the RPRF, okay, right for permanent resident P. Yeah, I guess that's it. So it amounted to 500 Canadian dollars, and then if we're going to convert that into Saudi riyals, it will amount into 1,385. And further, if we're going to convert that one into Philippine peso, it will cost me 20,498 as a principal. The same goes with my wife. She will pay also the same RF amounting to the exact payment that the principal had paid. You can pay that one upfront, or you can pay that one end of the application. You will be advised to pay that one. If you haven't paid that one upfront, you will be advised by the CIC or the IRCC to pay that one before the completion of your application process. But for us, we paid it out upfront since we don't want to have that kind of hassle anymore, and we want the smooth process of our application, because we don't want to have some time to be consumed, the email back and forth by the ARCC going back to us and then us complying to it. So it will take time. So for us, I would suggest for each and every one of you applying to have it paid already upfront. Now, for the medicals that we had, since we are living here in Saudi Arabia, there are a lot of hospitals to choose from, accredited by the Canadian government to have the medical examination being done to those who are applying for the application. So we opted to go in Riyadh. The name of the hospital is Al Warud. Here in Al Hasa, in which we are currently living, we don't have that kind of option. Okay. So the amount that we have paid, as a principal, I paid 299 in Saudi riyals. That is equivalent to 448 Canadian dollars, or 19,225 Philippine peso. But for our dependent, since we have two, for the two of them, 159 Canadian dollars, which is equivalent to 460 Saudi riyals, or 6,808 Philippine peso.
On the same day din po ng pag-travel namin papuntang Riyadh, nag-apply na po kami ng aming NBI at saka police clearance na makukuhanin din po namin dito sa Saudi Arabia. Yung NBI po, nakuha po kami ng form doon sa embassy sa Riyadh. And kumuha po kami ng forms doon, tapos nagdala po kami ng pictures po i-send po natin sa Philippines. Kasi yung NBI po, manggagaling po talaga siya sa Philippines. So, meron po kaming binayarang fee doon sa form na kukuhanin natin para sa NBI form, which is amounting to 100 Saudi riyals. And kung equivalent po natin to sa Philippine peso, it's amounting to 1,480 sa current po na conversion, and 81 din po 34 po Canadian dollars. Yun po yung kanyang So dalawa po kami, husband ko kumuha ng NBI. And yun po, pina-DHL po namin siya na papuntang Philippines. So nagbayad din po ng around 235 Saudi riyals, which is equivalent din po yon sa 81 Canadian dollars, at the same time 3,400 as Philippine. Tapos after po nun, kumuha din po kami ng endorsement letter, which is kailangan po siya, makakuha po kami ng police clearance. So we get our endorsement letter also at the same time in the Philippine Embassy, Riyadh. And we bring that endorsement letter here in our region, dito sa region namin sa Al Hasa, sa police station. And we bring the endorsement letter together with our ikama and the copy of our passport to give it to them, so that makakuha po kami ng aming police clearance. Then the police clearance that we have gathered, we paid also for the endorsement letter around 100 riyals, which is equivalent din po sa Philippine peso ng 1,480, or 34 po, 34 Canadian dollars. Hindi lamang po yon, we will go pa pag nakuha niyo na po yung yung endorsement letter together with the pag nabigay niyo na po, makukuha niyo na po yun after 3 days yung police clearance po. Then you will going to ask for stamp sa MOFA, which is ang MOFA is Ministry of Foreign Affairs dito sa Saudi. And they were going, also stamping din po, nagbayad din po kami ng 30 reals for the stamp. And as well as, ganun din po sa translation, nagbayad po kami ng 50 reals din po. So, total po, ang nabayaran po namin is equivalent na po sa Philippine peso ng 2,516.
Yung 2,516, yun po yung police clearance. That is for the translation as well as for the endorsement coming from the Philippine Embassy in order for you to process your police clearance here in Saudi Arabia. Of course, there are a lot of additional fees that you need to pay as well. Added to that is the passport photo that is needed once you are being advised to submit your passport to the BFS. Okay, so that costs us 120 for the 4 of us in Saudi Riyals, and that is equivalent to 41 Canadian dollars or 1,776 Philippine peso. Of course, once you have that one and you have prepared all your documents, you need to submit that one through BFS. If I'm not mistaken, we have paid for the BFS fee plus courier amounting to 254 Saudi Riyals, which is equivalent to 88 Canadian dollars or 3,759 Philippine peso. So I forgot to include here as well yung biometrics, no? The biometrics cost us, I guess, individually 85 or
around 85.
each person, no?
Each
person.
Only me and my husband.
85 Canadian dollars.
85 Canadian dollars.
85 Canadian dollars because I forgot to include here in the graph.
Yung mga kids, wala naman po sila.
So for the dependent, they will not be required to give the biometrics, and they will not be required to pay the fees as well, but only for the 2 of us, the principal sponsor as well as the spouse. So you're going to pay for that individually 85 Canadian dollars. I don't know how much that is in reals or in Philippine peso, but you just try to Google it. Alright, so once you have already done that one and you have been approved and you have already on hand your Canadian visa with your passport with Canadian visa and as well as your COPR, you need to book for the flight ticket or the airfare ticket going to Canada. So we book online through Cheapo Air, and we have searched the least amount of payment that we can travel going to Canada, and we have paid for the 4 of us through credit card the amount of 8,329 Saudi Riyals, which is amounting to 2,873 Canadian dollars or 125,269 Philippine peso. Ayan. So overall, that's the amount that we have paid for the airfare. Alright, the aforementioned items that we have mentioned before, those are the fees that we have paid. If there are things that we have forgotten, please comment down below, and we would be glad to answer back what that item that we have forgotten. So without any further ado, you will know already the total amount of our application fees going to Canada as a permanent resident,
galing po dito sa
family
Saudi
of 4
Arabia.
coming here in Saudi Arabia. The amount in Canadian dollars total to, drum roll please, 9,805. The exchange rate, we have had that one. 1 Canadian dollars is 289 Saudi Riyals. So the amount in Saudi Arabian Riyals is amounting to 28,429, and in Philippine peso, if we're going to convert that one, 423,858 Philippine peso. Ayan. So these fees are not paid. Not paid at one time. It took us 3 years, no? 3 years since the beginning of application until we have gotten the permanent residence due to COVID. But usually it will take only 6 months to 1 year, the application process. But this amount of money that we have paid, it's not one time that you're going to pay for it as one. It's like scheduled payment. Okay, because you will not get the ECA together with all of these things. ECA first, once you have established paying that one, then you need to move forward for the IELTS. So it's not one time that you're going to pay for all of these fees. All right. So the amount that we have paid in Philippine peso, let me just read that one, for 123,858. In Canadian dollars, the amount that we have paid is 9,805, and in total in Saudi riyals, we have paid 28,429. So if we forgotten all of maybe some items, along the way, please comment down below and remind us. This is not the same as with your application, because if you're going to apply through work permit, it will require you less money. If you're going to apply with lesser dependent, okay, it will require you less money. Okay. And if you're applying for the student visa, this is different route as well.
Different pathways, different
So
amounts.
again, I hope in this video that we have discussed to you, we answered all the questions bugging you in your application or going forward to your application going to Canada. So again, if you want us to make another video in terms of our application, please comment down below and please let us know so that we will do much more of this in the coming days or weeks. So again, thank you from us.
And God bless.
So see you on our next vlog. Maybe after this, we're going to discuss the preparation that we're going to have, or maybe the application process that we have, because this one is only the fees that we have discussed. And for the application, we're going to discuss that one in depth in the coming vlogs that we're going to have. So again, thank you and God bless, and see you next time.